Hello, hello. Welcome to Quackcast, a skeptical and sarcastic evaluation of quacks, frauds, and charlatans. No, I'm sorry. I got it wrong again. I mean supplements, complementary, and alternative medicines, i.e. scam. This podcast is being done December 2009. I would like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a generic, non-denominational seasonal greeting. And that comes straight from the heart. This podcast is number 37 and is going to cover the topic of Acai. As always, this is brought to you by Pussware LLC, the publisher of the Persiflager's Annotated Compendium of Infectious Disease Facts, Opinion, and Dogma, your uber-hyperlinked electronic guide to infectious diseases. And don't forget to go and join my multimedia worldwide empire. Listen to my other podcast, The Gobbet O' Puss, available on iTunes. The Pusscast, available on iTunes. And if that's not enough, I write for Science-Based Medicine in my infectious disease blog, Rubor, Dolor, Kalor, Tumor, over on Medscape. Remember, the world needs more Mark Crislip. So, as always, the references are on the show notes page, as are other versions of this podcast over on quackcast.com. So let's get to it, shall we? Lose weight without diet or exercise? I guess that leaves cancer. David Letterman. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and I have probably eaten enough calories to support the average family for at least 3 days. Well, maybe not a U.S. family, but a sub-Saharan African family. I'm hesitant to comment on my actual weight, but others have not been so reticent about discussing my appearance over at Rubor, Dolor, Kalor, Tumor. Not an uncommon reaction to one of my rants is the comment, "Oh yeah? Well, your picture looks fat." Touché. That's always a winning argument. But at least I am not female, then I would get no end of critiques based upon my looks and not my substance. Although on occasion I do get called ma'am on the telephone. Now that I am up a few holiday pounds, it would be nice to lose some weight. Of course, I do not want to do it the old-fashioned way with diet and exercise. Diet and exercise take time and are fundamentally painful. I don't like being hungry. I want to eat what I want, when I want, where I want, from the comfort of my lazy boy. I want an easy way to lose weight. The interwebs, as is often the case, have been kind enough to provide me with numerous emails suggesting all sorts of ways to alter my physique for the better. Some of those ways include weight loss. For some reason, I have been on a spam list that keeps me well supplied for offers to try Acai berry juice to lose weight. Now, that's spelled A-C-A-I, but evidently pronounced Acai, with the emphasis on the last syllable. Acai is a palm tree whose fruit, like that of many palms, is a food source for the indigenous peoples in the area where they grow, the trees and the indigenous peoples. The acai berry is grape-sized and purple, and if it's purple, it must be good for your health. Like Prince. Oh wait, bad example. Of late, acai has been touted for a wide number of health benefits, including weight loss, because it is believed to be high in antioxidants. So just how do antioxidants help you lose weight? Well, I went all over the interwebs looking for an explanation, and here's one. All right, get ready to have your brain hurt. Quote, "The reality is that antioxidants may very well improve weight loss, or at very least help provide the body with the nutritional support it needs to help strong and energized during the fat-burning process. To help you understand how antioxidants can enhance weight loss, you need to take a closer look at the actual process that occurs when we lose fat. While most people tend to look at their fat as their enemy when they are overweight, it is imperative that you realize that fat is necessary for our health. There are two types of fat. Essential fat, necessary for many body functions, including reproduction, and storage fat, essential for protecting some of the body's organs, and where Sarah Palin keeps most of her ideas. The fat in our bodies is stored in our adipose tissue. This tissue contains lipids that are needed to transform nutrients into energy. Fat cells have many functions, and one of them is to store toxins. Oh, God damn it, those toxins again, that are released throughout the digestive process. Thus, when you reduce the fat in your body, the amount of toxins in your body increases, and this can result in some negative side effects. For instance, the extra toxins often affect the liver, causing it to work overtime to process and remove them, and the liver does not get paid for overtime. Moreover, when fat molecules are broken down, a process called oxidation, they release free radicals, which can result in cell, protein, and DNA damage. Oxidation occurs when free radicals, unstable atoms, attack cells to restabilize themselves. The restabilized atoms release more free radicals, and the process continues like a chain reaction, as opposed to a chain reaction, which it is, throughout the body until the free radicals are stopped by the Chicago police. The body will create its own antioxidants to help the reaction, but often there is not enough, which is why ingesting foods or supplements rich in antioxidants can be beneficial. I'm really getting confused here. Thus, when you lose weight, you are not only shedding excess fat, you are also losing some of the nutrients in your body that are needed to maintain good health. Okay. Also, if you are exercising as part of your healthy weight loss program, then your body will be creating even higher levels of toxic byproducts. Therefore, antioxidants can help provide your body with the nutritional support it requires during the antioxidation process, reducing the stress on your body and keeping energy levels and metabolism as high as possible, end quote. What? If there were ever more empty thuses and therefores in 3 paragraphs, I would be hard-pressed to find them. That is one of the better explanations for how antioxidants help you lose weight. As best I can tell from this torturous explanation, antioxidants contribute to weight loss by nutritional support. It appears that the purpose of antioxidants is not so much to help stimulate weight loss, but to act kind of like a catalytic converter, taking off the toxins that are generated by fat oxidation. And just where these antioxidized toxins then go is never mentioned. This is one of the more coherent explanations I have found, and I don't find it coherent at all. Like so many scams, its purpose is to support, and that is often a new buzzword with scams, support. It supports breast health or prostate health or weight loss. Here's a rule of thumb. If a product provides support and it's not an undergarment, it's a crock. Don't buy it. Is there data to support the use of any oxidants to help with weight loss? Not that I can find. Although there are many interweb claims that antioxidants help with weight loss, PubMed and Google Scholar are silent on the topic. So despite the common use of supplements in the United States as an adjunct to weight loss, there is nothing to support the use of antioxidants in acai or other foods in weight loss. Of course, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, and I think the lack of obesity in the United States can probably be attributed to the widespread use of antioxidant supplements. Ironically, there are at least 2 studies that show that antioxidants may help AIDS and cancer patients gain weight, although I doubt the increase in weight was due to any antioxidant properties of these supplements, but more likely it was due to their improved diet. And even more curiously, antioxidants may help prevent some of the beneficial effects of exercise. Taking antioxidants blocks the usual increase in insulin sensitivity that exercise causes due to the endogenous antioxidants that are activated by exercise. Taking antioxidants blocks endogenous antioxidant defense capacity with none of the beneficial effects. So if you're taking antioxidants, the data to date suggests that it increases the chance of gaining weight and it decreases the beneficial effects of exercise. Go antioxidants. The take-home message, as is often the case in medicine, is that the effects of supplements on physiology are rarely simple or straightforward. What sounds beneficial on face value can turn out to be counterproductive. That is almost always the case with supplements. If you are not deficient, then the supplementation, or often the over-supplementation, does not do any good and probably causes harm. I hate to say it's the wisdom of the body, but we have evolved to a more or less optimal steady state, presuming access in our diet to all the needed vitamins and minerals, and we do not require extra. So, antioxidants have no role in weight loss outside being an advertising gimmick. Back to Acai. I keep wanting to pronounce it some other way. When I went to Japan years ago, I went with someone who was trying to teach himself Japanese without ever hearing it spoken. No in Japanese is I-I-E, pronounced E-A, but he kept pronouncing it I-E, and I keep wanting to pronounce Acai, Acai, but that's just me. From Google Trends, Acai juice seems to be a relatively new fad in the United States. Searches for the product started in volume in about the middle of July 2008. While association is not causation, it is worth noting that the big spike in Google searches occurred shortly after Dr. Oz mentioned Acai on Oprah. Dun, 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 dun. The Oprah mention apparently spawned the Acai industry in the United States with the inadvertent help of Dr. Oz, who are now suing multiple Acai companies for using their likeness and for implying that Dr. Oz and Oprah were supporting their brand of Acai, and also using their, quote, good name, unquote, as if Oprah and Oz have a good name in the skeptic community. But do not mess with Oprah and suggest that she gives your product a seal of approval. You will pay. The other industry spawned at the time was the Acai scam, where people will sign up for free Acai using their credit card for shipping and handling. And then, surprise, surprise, they get charged large sums and are unable to cancel the order. Do not order Acai online. If you're going to purchase worthless products, buy them at your local supplement store. Support the local sustainable quacks. It's the green, or in this case purple, thing to do. Also, like silver and other supplements, there is a growth industry in, quote, real, unquote, Acai, as opposed to all the posers who are peddling second-rate products. Each website, of course, says that they have the one true piece of the cross, or in this case, Acai, with the greatest levels of antioxidants, and all other peddlers are selling second-rate products of minimal value. One of the more important features, by the way, of quality Acai, according to these sites, are ORAC levels. Really, ORAC. Go figure. But with all due respectful insolence, I do prefer high levels of ORAC. The single most amusing part of the Acai industry is that the model used on many of the websites for before and after is a photoshopped ice stock photo picture of someone who never used the product. So I wonder if you use the second-rate Acai product, if your photographs will look thinner. Quote, there are no magical berries from Brazilian rainforest that cure obesity. Only painfully real credit card charges and empty weight loss promises, said Connecticut Attorney General Richard Blumenthal. Aggressive acai berry pitches on the internet entice countless consumers into free trials promising weight loss, energy, and detoxification. These claims are based on folklore, traditional remedies, and outright fabrications, unproven by real scientific evidence. In reality, consumers lose more money than weight after free trial transition into inescapable charges. We will investigate these allegedly misleading or deceptive nutrition and health claims and take action under our consumer protection statutes, as we have done with other food products. End quote. I note with deep irony that this is the same Blumenthal who sued the Infectious Disease Society of America for antitrust for their Lyme treatment guidelines, where he took the side of the mostly non-science-based chronic Lyme proponents, where some Lyme diagnosis and treatment claims are, quote, based on folklore, traditional remedies, and outright fabrications, unproven by real scientific evidence. What comes around goes around. And I doubt that Attorney General Blumenthal has a deep understanding of science and medicine that guides his action. You win a few, you lose a few. So is there anything at all to acai as a way to lose weight? Perhaps. If you eat the fruit straight from the tree, this may give you Chagas disease, a parasite that destroys your heart and esophagus, rendering you completely unable to swallow and eat. So you might lose weight that way. But it hardly seems worth it. Is there anything special to acai as a fruit? Well, analysis of it does show it contains vitamin C and a variety of antioxidants, so it's not necessarily bad for you, but there's nothing special about acai, and there are more palatable alternatives. Quote, pomegranate juice has the greatest antioxidant potency composite index among the beverages tested and was at least 20% greater than any other beverages tested, end quote. In this study, when they looked at the levels of antioxidant capacity, they found an order of pomegranate juice had more than red wine, which had more than Concord grape juice, more than blueberry, more than black cherry juice, then acai juice, followed by cranberry, orange, iced tea beverages, and ending with apple juice. So is there anything special about acai? Nah. Just give me a pomegranate martini for my vitamin C and antioxidants. There is one truth, however, in all of this. It is safe to say, if you've ever had a good Bordeaux, that the Connecticut Attorney General was only partly wrong. That magic berries can be found. They are in France, and they make Bordeaux's. But there is nothing special about acai except the hype. All I can say in the end is crap, diet, and exercise. So that's it. If you want to look up the references, go to Science-Based Medicine and look at the blog entry, Lose Those Holiday Pounds. I'm probably not going to bother to recapitulate them on the Quackcast website. This is copyright 2009 under the Creative Commons. It's brought to you by Pussware LLC. Don't forget to go on iTunes and feed my ravenous ego with a glowing review. Feed me, feed me. Send email to me if you'd like. I think I have about 2,200 unanswered emails, and it will add to my guilt complex enormously. But I'm unlikely to respond with but the shortest of answers. The music is by my son when he was 12, improvising on the guitar. And if you'll excuse me, I need to go get my oxidants antied. Later, guys.